Hello everyone and welcome to the second tutorial of the series. In the previous lesson, we learned a little about functions and two types of values, strings and numbers. In this lesson, we'll learn how to manipulate strings and numbers using things called operators and how we can store them in containers called variables. We'll also look more into this concept of data types and hopefully introduce ourselves to more of them. So far, we've learned how to create basic strings and numbers and print them out in the output widget. But let's say we wanted to add numbers together or subtract them from each other. We can do that very easily with operators, particularly arithmetic operators. An operator is just a special symbol or word that carries out an action with some values. For example, the plus symbol is an arithmetic operator that adds two values together. The minus symbol is another arithmetic operator that subtracts one value from another. To use these symbols in your code, simply press the corresponding key on your keyboard and the script editor will understand what they're for. Let's try printing some values using all of the arithmetic operators. First, we have addition. We can write print, open parentheses, 10 plus 10, which should show 20 in the output. On a side note, to write comments like this in your script, type two negative symbols or two hyphen symbols together, and whatever you write after it on that line will be left as a comment and not part of your code, so the script will ignore it. This means that you can write whatever you like here. And to make block comments or paragraphs, instead of adding the double hyphen symbol before each line, you can add two sets of square brackets after the double hyphen symbol, and then write inside the brackets. Now, moving back to operators, we have subtraction next. We can write print 10 minus 10, which should show 0 in the output. And to negate a number, or to make a number negative, simply write the minus symbol before the number. So print minus 10, which should obviously show minus 10 in the output. For multiplication, we use the asterisk symbol. So print 10 multiplied by 10, which should show 100 in the output. For division, we use the forward slash symbol. So print 10 divided by 10, which should show 1 in the output. For exponentiation or powers, we use the caret symbol. So let's write print 10 to the power of 2, which should show 100 in the output. And for modulus, we use the percentage symbol. So print 10 modulo 4, which should show 2 in the output. If you don't know what modulus is, it finds the remainder from division. For example, 10 divided by 2 is just 5 without any remainder. So the answer to 10 modulo 2 is 0. However, 11 divided by 2 is 5 with a remainder of 1. So the answer to 11 modulo 2 is 1. This operator is useful for checking if a value is odd or even by taking the number modulo 2, because any number that is divisible by 2 is an even number. So if the result is 1, the value is an odd number, but if the result is 0, the value is an even number. These are all of the arithmetic operators that Luau has so far. There are other types of operators, but we'll learn them later. Let's run the code now and see what happens in the output. As you can see, the results are all the same as you'd predicted. So far, we've just been manipulating numbers with operators, but what about strings? For more string manipulation techniques, such as replacing certain letters in a string, there is a library of functions which we'll learn later. There is only one operator so far that is dedicated to manipulating strings, which is the double dot symbol. This symbol allows you to join two strings together and make longer strings, which is known as string concatenation. So let's try it out. Print, open parentheses, hi, comma, my name is, and then you can leave a string like this. Then we're going to add a space here and put two dots together like this, the double dot symbol. After that, we're going to just write in your name, so hiatus. Hi, my name is double dot hiatus. Now let's try it out. When running this code, you'll notice that there isn't a space between is and hiatus. That is because the operator just joins the strings together as they are. If you want there to be a space in between them, you'll have to add it yourself. You can do it easily by adding a space at the end of the first string, or adding a space at the beginning of the second string, or what you could do is create a new string in between these two that just contains a space, like this. Print hi, my name is, double dot, create a new string here, which just contains a space. And then again, double dot. Print hi, my name is as one string, double dot, to join a new string which just contains a space, and then double dot again to join hiatus. And then if you try this code, it should now show the same thing as before, but with just a space in between is and hiatus. But let's say we wanted to join more strings together and make longer text. Writing out all of the strings each time and joining a new one is pretty time consuming and more prone to mistakes. We can actually simplify this by storing our strings in variables. A variable is something similar to a container or a box. It just stores a value and lets you use it by simply typing out the name of the variable. To create one, first write the word local, and then you give the variable a name. So I'm going to do local A. You don't wrap the name in quotation marks, you just write it out normally. Now after that, you assign a value to the variable, so you make it equal something. So local A equals my name is hiatus. This is how you create a variable, and to use it you just have to type out the name again. So let's do print A. Make sure you don't wrap the name of the variable in quotation marks, otherwise that would just create a new string. So let's try it out. And there you go. My name is hiatus. Some important things to remember about variables are that the name can only start with a letter or an underscore, so it can't start with a number or any other special character. You can't add a space in the name, it has to be all one word. Variable names are case sensitive, so lowercase a and uppercase a are two different variable names. The name of the variable can't be from any of the reserved keywords of Luau. For example, local is the reserved keyword, so the script editor won't let you name a variable local. Variables can also be made without the word local before it. However, you shouldn't do that, and we'll go through why later. If you'd like to learn more about this, I'll add a link in the description to the variables page in the documentation. It also includes a list of the reserved keywords of Luau, but don't worry, you don't have to memorize it, you'll understand as you go along. So now, with our newfound knowledge of variables, we can store all of our strings in them and manipulate them much easier than before. Local A equals hi, my name is hiatus. Local B equals how are you. Local C equals A dot dot, a new string with just a space, dot dot B, and then we can print C. And there you go. Hi, my name is hiatus, how are you? We joined A and B into one whole string with a space in between them, and that is now called C. Variables aren't limited to just being able to store strings. They can store values of any type, even numbers. For example, local A equals 2, local B equals 3, local C equals A plus B, and then we can print out C again. And this time it should show 5, because A equals 2, B equals 3, and C equals A plus B, which is 2 plus 3, which is 5. And creating a variable without assigning any value to it will leave it as nil, which means nothing. It's important to note that nil is not the same as the number 0 or anything similar. Nil is its own type of value, which just means nothing. So far, we've learnt 3 types of values: strings, numbers, and nil. In programming, these types of values are commonly referred to as data types. There are many other data types besides these 3, which we'll learn later, but to view the type of value, you can use the type of function. The type of function takes an input and then returns a string, which tells you the type of that input. So let's test it out. Type of A. Now we have a problem here. We have used the function to determine the type of the value we sent to it, A, but how will it tell us the answer? The function isn't going to print out the answer for us in the output. We'll have to do it ourselves. So there are two ways that we can do this. One is to catch the result from the function by assigning a variable to it, like this: local type A equals type of A. The function type of is going to identify the type of our input, A, and it will return a string which tells us the result. The string will be put into the type A variable or the type A container, and then if we print type A, it should now show us the result. And there you go. It says the type of A is a string. The other way to do this is to put the function call inside the print statement. So like this: print, open parentheses, and close the parentheses over here. So this will automatically use the result from the type of function and use it as the input for the print function. And there you go, it also says string for the type of A. Now we can test this out some more. Let's create some variables of all the different types, and let's try to print out the types of those variables. So local A equals 0 but as a string. Local B equals 0 but as a number. Local C equals nil. And local D, we're just going to leave it as it is. So this should also be nil. So this should be a string, this should be a number, this should be nil, and this should also be nil. So now let's print them out. Print type of A, which should be string. Print type of B, which should be a number. Print type of C, which should be nil. And print type of D, which should also be nil. And there you go. Now that's all for this lesson. If you'd like to practice what you've learned so far, you can try to create variables holding different types of values and manipulate them with the operators we've covered so far. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to add them in the comment section and I'll try to respond to all of them. And don't forget that you can join our Discord server where we have experienced scripters who can help you out. The link to it will be in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.